what's up guys? Today I have for you the Sony NEX 5. Let's take a look around the camera. On the back you have a 3-inch display, true black technology, so you can get pretty good viewing under sunlight. Of course the screen is tiltable, so you can get low shot or you can high angle shot. You have this button is dedicated to shooting tips, so it basically gives you a guide of how to shoot a better photos. Menu button, you have a scroll wheel. This is to control aperture under aperture priority shooting or shutter speed. You can also navigate the menu with the scroll. You have 4 dedicated buttons here: display, drive mode, exposure compensation, flash. You also have a dedicated movie record button, playback button, on-off switch, shutter release. You have stereo mic left and right, and you have a proprietary port for accessories like flash, external microphone, and so on. On this side you have your USB, HDMI, nothing on that side. At the bottom you have your tripod mount, and you got your battery and SD card. You can use both SDHC and memory stick. This is the 1855 kit lens package. You can also get this with the 16mm pancake kit. This one retail for $700 and the 16mm pancake retail for $650. On the front you have your lens release button, IR for remote control, and as well as the focus illumination light. Now this camera has 14 megapixel. It does movie in full HD, AVC HD format, which is not my personal favorite, but it does full HD. It's not progressive HD, it's interlaced. That is what you get with most DirecTV and cable HD channel. It does support RAW shooting, so you can shoot it RAW or RAW and JPEG. The lens is using the new E-mount that Sony integrated. So at this moment there's only 3 lenses available for this particular mount. It's the 1855 kit, the 16mm pancake, and the 18 to 200mm. Because the body is so small, image stabilization is not built into this camera. Instead, it's built into the lens. So as you can see, this one has optical steady shot, OSS. It's built into the lens. You can buy an adapter and you can use the alpha. You can use alpha mount lens as well as Nikon F lens, or you can even get the mount for Leica M lens. It has 25 autofocus points, as well as a bunch of shooting modes like intelligent autos, program, aperture priority, which I will get into a little bit. ISOs range from 200 to 12,800. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. The LCD is 921,000 resolution, so it is extremely sharp. Continuous shooting speed on this one is 2.3, but you can go into a speed priority mode where you can get up to 7 frames per second. So that's very fast. So let's take a look at the actual camera itself. So this is what you will see. Of course, if you press the display button, you can turn on whatever option that you want to see. Shooting mode, you can have quick access to shooting mode by just pressing the middle button here, and you can then go to aperture set priority, shutter priority, manual exposure, as well as sweep panorama, anti-motion blur is for when you shoot handheld. It basically takes a bunch of shots and combine them so you don't get that blur image. Scene selection, intelligent auto, and program auto. On the scene selection, you do have portrait, handheld twilight, which is my favorite. You use this when you shoot low light condition. It's also take a bunch of shots and combine them, get the best quality. Night view, night portrait, sunset, sport action, macro, landscape, and yep, that's it. Now under the menu, shoot mode is what I just showed you. Under camera, you have dry mode. Here you can set continuous, single, self timer, and so on. Image size, you can do raw and JPEG, or JPEG by itself. Movies format, you can AVC, HD, or MP4. Now if you choose MP4, the quality is only 1440 by 1080. Under brightness and color is where you will find exposure compensation, ISO, white balance, metering mode. You have multi, spot, center. The camera does give you a description of each setting, so that's pretty helpful. It does have dynamic range optimizer, or HDR. Now HDR is only available when you shoot JPEG only. It does not available when you're using RAW, so that's a drawback. It's also have creative style. You can go vivid, standard, portrait, landscape, so it does have a bunch of presets that you can use. On the playback setting, you have slideshow, protect, the usual stuff. Setup, you can choose to show the grid line, which I have on. You can also turn on manual focus assist, which I also have on. It basically zoom into the image to make sure that you get the correct focus. Autofocus, manual focus, you do have that option, as well as DMF. DMF basically allow you to do this. Say you focus, but you can also remove the focus point by pressing this button. You can move it around. So I usually have that on. Now HDR, I'll demonstrate that right now. It basically take 3 shots and it will combine them very quickly, and you will get that picture. It's very good when you're shooting outside, when the image may be overexposed, or when you're shooting in a shade where it's maybe underexposed, so you can use that. Continuous shooting, you basically, it's 3 frames per second. Not that fast, but it's not that bad either. If you want faster, you can do a burst of 7 frames per second. That is really fast. The only thing about that mode is that it will lock the exposure and the shutter speed from the first frame. So if you were to move the camera, you're gonna get a blurry effect. But it's really good when you have it on a tripod and you try to catch something really fast. You can still use that. Now when you go under twilight, it's basically takes 3 shots and combine them and give you the best image. I find this mode work extremely well under low light condition. It does take a little bit of time to process, but in the end it gives you a much better result than using it without. Now, to record movie, all you have to do is press this button and it will start recording. This is all autofocus. You do not have manual control on this when you are movie recording, so that means that you cannot set aperture, you cannot set ISO, none of that good stuff. You can go manual control if you want, but that's about the only thing that you can control when you're shooting video. To stop, you just press it again. A lot of people has complained about the way the menu system is laid out. Like, for example, if you were to shoot and you want to quickly change the ISO, you have to, go in here and do this, and stuff like that. Now, to me, it's not really that big of a deal, because I mean, once you get used to it, you know exactly where everything is. You just quickly change it. But if you get used to the DSLR, the full side DSLR control, then it might be troublesome for you. But you have to remember, this is not a full side DSLR. This is a compact camera that has the sensor the size of the sensor that you would find on DSLR. So you would get the image quality on par with DSLR camera in a much smaller form. I mean, I can grab it with one hand like that. So in the end, you have to give up something. So if you want a compact size, you have to give up the control. It might become troublesome. I just wish that Sony let you modify this 4 button right here to modify to set. You can set this at ISO, you can set this as aperture. That would be great. I think that is something doable over a firmware update. So hopefully that will come in the future, and that will certainly fix the controller issues on this camera. Now, the conclusion that I have for this camera: do I recommend it for buying this? It really depends on what you want to do with photography. If you're looking at making a career out of photography, whether you're doing portrait studio shooting or video production work, this camera will probably not for you. Simply because this camera is not meant to be a professional line of DSLR. If you want to go professional on DSLR from Sony, you would get the A900. That will give you a much better production. Now, with that said, if you're the type that want to take really good picture when you travel around, this camera is really good. I mean, it's light, it's compact. This is why I take with me when I travel. It takes great picture, record great looking videos, and the tilting screen allow you to get some very creative shots. So if photography is a hobby for you, I highly recommend this camera. But if you want to take seriously photography, like you want to make a career out of it, then I recommend you look into a more professionally form of DSLR. But other than that, this is a great camera. The image quality is really good. But yeah, I will be getting the Nikon D3100 in next week, so I'm gonna post a review for that soon. So until then, thanks a lot for watching, guys.